Good day, viewers and listeners. I am your host, Big Law Lawrence Johnson, and welcome to the Locked On Virginia Cavaliers podcast, the first place to come to get your Wahoo Fix every day, as part of the Locked On Podcast Network. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at lockedon.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So yes, everybody, this is the 11/23/22 episode. It will serve as the Wednesday's episode, Thanksgiving Eve episode of Locked On Virginia, and just still continuing the healing process. Just wanted to talk to you guys, give you guys a little bit of information as my rules go for this. We're talking going through a tragedy, and we just had another tragedy here where I live in Chesapeake, Virginia. Prayers go out to the families. There's a Walmart close to here off of what is called Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, Virginia, and there was a mass shooting in there. So, there's a lot of things going on, man. It's a stressful situation, painful situations. There's a lot of pain going on, in the world right now. And the only way to conquer it is to come with more understanding, more inclusion and more love. But yeah, and being the holiday season, it's just absolutely awful what's happening. But I'll give you guys an update based off of what I have here. For Devin Chandler, this is his funeral information. They will be laying him to rest on Sunday at church, 640 Kempsville Road, Virginia Beach, Virginia, 23464. And that's his information and his family. So if you guys are interested in that, that's where they will put him to rest. Still no update on Mike Hollins. They said he is doing well. He's home. He's moving around, doing okay. And that is a blessing. And Marley Morgan as well. If you're interested in contributing to them, you can go to Amber Bolin. You look for her on Facebook. She can help you guys donate. They're donating cards, get well cards to both of them, which is a really cool thing that's going on right now for them, for the survivors. But yeah, that's the information and update on Devin Chandler. And for the other guys, I was looking for their information and I could not find it. I will continue to search and make sure I get you guys the information that you need there. So let's jump into some basketball information and some news. And that will be a lot of what this is about. Of course, we already kind of know what has happened with the football program. They have taken the rest of the season off. They canceled the game earlier week against Virginia Tech. What was really cool is Coach Pry, the head coach at Virginia Tech, put out a statement and said, the game's not important. We have to support, Virginia in these times of pain and grieving. And he just had his total support for the game cancellation, and just was giving his just his condolences to everyone who was affected by the tragedy at the University of Virginia. So good on Coach Pry for that, and good on the University of Virginia Tech for the same thing. So yeah, we are. There was just a tough conversation we were having last night, and we're talking about how to grieve and who can grieve, certain ways. And, I just, everyone grieves differently. Everyone goes through different levels of healing and grief at a different rate, and just allow them to go through it. That's just the bottom line. For myself, of course, I said yesterday I am a private griever. So I kind of need to be by myself, be alone, or be just to process things and to go through, some of these tough things that have been going on. So yeah, it's a little different. Everyone's a little different, and allow them to be different. And we're talking about the boys, them playing, you know, and I explained that, and I explained a little bit of that yesterday, how each game is more than just a physical investment. It's a big time emotional investment. And these young men are not ready. I don't, as much as they say that they are, much as some of them might want to play, the the emotional energy you have to put into a game is so vast, so great, that you really need to kind of relax, mellow out, and take that energy and put it into healing. You put that into a game. I know they say, "Oh, it's time to, you know, let's put that energy into playing." But you know, my thing is the energy that you put into the game, and let's say some negative things happen. Who knows how far? How much damage that could do. And another was made is, when you're out there and you're putting a game plan together, and coaches are thinking of players who are not there, and they're putting a game plan together for players and all these guys, were players. They were on the field, and you don't have them out there. I just think that that's just a lot of mental, emotional pressure to not have your friends out there when you're used to having them. When they were putting a game plan together, putting together, um, just the style of play that they had around the. So yeah, just take the time off. This is the time for family. So the last for us cancellations, and just take it off, guys. Just enjoy your time with your families, healing, and and reflecting. We talked about next year. It's going to be interesting to see how the team will react. Excuse me, how the team will react to coming back uh, to next year. I have no clue how this will go down for them. Being the head coach, being just the coaching staff, position coaches, trying to pull them back in, or like I said before, everybody grieves at a different pace. If some players just want to leave, you got to let them go. You just can't, you know, keep them there. Some players may have to distance themselves from Charlottesville, and I can't blame them for that. They just need to get out. There's so many things to unpack, so many things to go through between now and in the beginning of the season next year. There's a lot of work, man. This is devastating right now, for the players, but as an overall, the program is devastated as well, because to try to restart that energy and to get back into an actual football mode or football mind is is unfathomable right now. You know, they start the season. I mean, on the schedule, they start the season with Tennessee next year. You know, I don't know, but I'll be very interested to see how they do it. What steps they're going to try to take to rebuild the program, because that's what it has to be. It has to be almost a total rebuild because of what happened, and maybe the direction the team, the team was going anyway, but this kind of has accelerated that. So this is this is going to be something that we're all going to have to monitor, pretty soon here. And I'm just praying, these that guys will recover and heal, enough, to want to continue to stay at University of Virginia and continue to play for the University of Virginia. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available? That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster for free. Different types of hiring companies out there, but what makes LinkedIn Jobs the best out there, they have different and simple tools, like easy to focus on kids with just the right skills and experience, so you can quickly prioritize who you would like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number one in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidate you want faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. We want to thank you for making Locked On Virginia your first listen today. For your second listen today, check out Locked On Sports Today. For the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports. Go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today, available on this app, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast. So yeah, everyone, let's kind of jump into some basketball news, and it really makes me feel excited to be able to talk about the women's basketball team as well as the men's basketball team. The women's basketball team, they play tonight against Campbell. We'll be trying to find that game on my local TV stations, whether it's on ACC Network or one of the ESPNs. I'm going to try to find it and see these undefeated uh, Wahoo women's basketball squad play. Also, they play Campbell University. It's a 7 p.m. tip-off, and let's see if they can get to 6-0. Remember, the ladies only won 5 games last year, and this is a completely different team as far as like what they look like. They run play a fast-paced game, and there's a lot of talent running around there for what Coach Mox has done as far as bringing in the talent and then cultivating the talent that was there. And we'll see how it goes. Cameron Taylor, Sam Brunell, Taylor Valladay. Let's go, guys. Check these ladies out. And the tickets are very, very, very affordable. I think the kids get in free. It's going to be at the JPJ. So it's definitely worth a trip if you want to yell and scream and shout and have a good time with some basketball with a good team. Check out the ladies game, man. And they're and they're budding juggernaut of a team they could possibly be if she continues. Coach Mox continues to bring in these 4 and 5 star players. Watch out, man, for University of Virginia. This is just her first year. She's just starting to build this squad up, and I think that she was a star in the making, and they finally, I think UVA got a really good one here. So, like I said, 7 p.m. tonight, Campbell women's basketball. Look for them on TV, or even make it to the JPJ if you're close enough. So let's talk about the men. The men. The men's basketball team, they're on a roll as well. This is also a completely different team from what I'm used to seeing from University of Virginia guys, a men's team, based off of the last couple years. Now, I'm not going to jinx them and talk about what they look like in the championship year and compare it that way. But based off of what I'm seeing and based off of the style of play that they have going on, they're not there quite defensively, although they do come at you in waves, which is something that's very unique from Tony Bennett. But we actually have talent enough to bring waves of players towards offenses. Uh, and when you're talking about, you still got Kihei Clark there for sure. And as you got Kihei Clark, you got Reese Beekman, who is an absolute budding superstar. You got Amon Franklin, who is starting to really get comfortable, come back into his own. He's shooting like over or right at 50% from the 3-point range this year, something that we sorely missed from him. And obviously, he's gone back, went back to the lab, worked on his jumper, and he is out right now when it comes to shooting the three. But back to Reese Beekman. I think what really helps this team go is what Reese does. Reese plays lockdown defense along the perimeter. He plays their best penetrator on the opposing team, and then he he'll he's starting to score, and he's starting to shoot his outside shot as well. He's starting to hit from deep, which no one expected that. So you're talking about some really good players defensively who have turned the corner and starting to pick it up offensively. Of course, TA is not responsible for everything like he was for the last couple years, because the young guys like Kyle Guy and Ty Jerome, they had the early exodus, and DeAndre Hunter, and Kihei is still there, and so is Kafaro. So these guys are the elder statesmen. These guys are the ones, the keeper of the flame or the keeper of the tradition of University of Virginia basketball. And they're passing it on. I'm glad that we have them guys, both of those guys here, because they're really showing how University of Virginia basketball should be played from a defensive standpoint. And good on Big Poppy, who is also playing for the the uh, Argentine country team as well. So Reese Beekman is the engine, in my opinion, that makes this team go on the defensive end, because he's kind of like the tip of the spear. He stops everything up top, and then they can do different things and turn it into offense. And then him giving you outside shooting and some offensive play. He was the player of the year at the player for the tournament at the Continental Tire tournament that they just played in Vegas, and he just looked great. They cleared out for him. Coach Bennett was calling some plays. Even Coach Williford on the coaches show last night has said Reese is kind of really coming to his own, but he's also playing angry, which playing angry is something that you know typically not a good thing. And he's also said that Reese typically hasn't been an angry player, but he said that an angry Reese is a good Reese. So he says you see him play with more of the attitude, a little bit more of the anger, because it seems like he plays a little more aggressive, and he's a better player because of it. So let's go ahead and this is officially turned. Even though Kihei's still on the team, I call Kihei the little general. This is possibly officially changing right over Forrest being Reese's team. And then you're going to get into, I already talked about Amon Franklin, and his shooting and his scoring is what's needed. Then you got to get into Jaden Gardner, who is one of the ACC players, all ACC players on the team. And he really hasn't had a great year yet. He really hasn't had, his really big breakout game where he's scoring a lot of points. He was the leading scorer on the team last year. So you haven't had him break out, but the University of Virginia basketball team is playing really, really good without his contribution, the way that he typically plays. Then you got to add in an improved Cedric. He's always been a defensive menace, shot blocking, changing shots, being the big man in the middle. but he's also added an offensive element to his game that this team could not depend on until a little bit later in the year last year. He's a high flyer, alley-oop catcher, finisher, uh, type of a big man, kind of a spring, a springs in his legs kind of a player, and but he has shown a little bit of a light touch, from the mid range as well, which is really cool to see. So he's been doing really well, and then the one player who they have no one like. And to me, even on their championship team, they didn't have anyone like this guy. It's Bennett Vanderplas. Bennett Vanderplas, who's a transfer from Ohio, has come in and totally given Tony, almost like, Thanos had all of the Infinity Stones, in my opinion, on his gauntlet, and he put that last Infinity Stone on his gauntlet, and he kind of went crazy, with power. I think Bennett Vanderplas gives Tony the ultimate power and ultimate versatility that he needs. In the win against Illinois, they went small across the board. They didn't have Caden out there. They didn't have Poppy out there. The two big men, which are two fours, your two four power forwards, were Jaden Gardner and Bennett Vanderplas at center. And he played the big guy at Illinois, Danger, really well, really well. And but they were quicker, than some of than the other natural centers on the team. But what happens is, on the other side of the court, it gives them ultimate offensive versatility. That means Bennett Vanderplas can play a stretch five. Jaden Gardner can play on the block, and play quick and score from inside. And then all that other players, you have, on the perimeter, like Akihei, like Amon Franklin, and like Reese Beekman, can stay outside and just continue to create shots, with that motion offense. I just think that Bennett Vanderplas, and his ability to shoot from deep, handle the ball as a big man, pass out from the post to open players on the perimeter to shoot threes is special. It's special. He's the kind of player to me who could play on the next level. I'm not sure at how high of a level he could play. I think he can play, in the NBA on the next level. It's just a matter of just kind of figuring out what his role, could be, because he has, a true talent, being that he has good ball skills for a big guy, and he can shoot. Now, he's starting to really mesh with some of the defensive philosophies that Coach Tony Bennett likes to play, which is the pack line defense, and they keep getting that defense in unison. Oh my goodness, watch out, man, watch out. Of course, there is an important stretch of games coming up for the University of Virginia, and I'm going to talk about those in a second. BetOnline.net is your number one source for sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there. From football to basketball to soccer and esports, we've given it all at BetOnline. We've got it all at BetOnline. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. We're always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fix. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. So yeah, UVA does have a great, a little bit of a tough schedule moving forward in this beginning of the season. This is going to be the telltale for how I think the season is going to go. Either if they come out of this stretch, we're going to say, "Oh my God, oh my goodness, this team is legit," or we're going to come out and say, "Okay, we need to pump our brake, you know, slow our horses, let's cool the jets some, let's take it down a notch because, from what we thought in the beginning, they're not there." So this November 29th this Friday, they play University of Maryland Eastern Shore, UMass. They play them on Friday at 6 p.m. So make sure you check that game out. I'll be doing a now on that as well for the network. And then the 29th, they play Michigan in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. That's on a Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. game. Make sure you guys take a nap during the day so you can watch this game. So we got University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and then we got Michigan in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. That is no slouch of a game. Of course, Michigan, known for having really good basketball teams as of late. I'm going to get you let me see here. I want to get you guys the college basketball rankings. You guys, well, for me, and a lot of folks don't like that that we talk about the rankings this early, but I absolutely like it. Just because that it gives you something to talk about, gives you the motivation, as a team to get to where you want to be. Let's see here. So yes, they got the ACC Big Ten Challenge, and that's going to be a dandy of a game. Not to mention the game after that, which is December 3rd. They have Florida State. Leonard Hamilton comes to town, and I think it's going to be a dandy of a game. It's going to be a ridiculous, fun-filled game. It's going to be at the JPJ as well. So you guys have to be on alert for that game against Florida State. Then December 6th, they got JMU. December 17th, they play Houston. Okay, another tough, explosive team. Houston is they're a ranked team as well. Not sure. Houston is the number 2 team in the nation. This is going to be amazing, guys. And then after Houston, on December 20th, they have Miami. So this right here, this stretch right here, after that Miami game, we haven't even got to the Carolina teams to play yet. So University of Maryland Eastern Shore, Michigan, Florida State, JMU, Houston, Miami. We're going to know what this team is about. If they only have like 1 or even 2 losses after that stretch, and, I would get that. They're still, in my opinion, almost a top 15 team if they can get through that stretch with 1 or 2 losses. And if they only come out of there with 1 loss or no losses, watch out, man. Watch out. This team is going to be all over the place. And they're going to be talking about this team being the best team in the land or right there at it. Right now, they're ranked number 5, which was a little bit of a surprise. But when you think about who they beat in that Vegas tournament, Illinois and Baylor, I think a lot of people didn't think the UVA would come out and win those games. So I guess I love it. I like it. And we'll see what happens, moving forward with this men's basketball team. I will talk about them this Friday when you guys check me out. Of course, happy Thanksgiving. I don't think I'm going to record tomorrow because it is the holiday, but never say never. I still could pop on and do a quick show, based off of what's going on Turkey Day. But thank you guys again. I really appreciate you guys just, hanging out there, tuning in. And thank you for making Locked On Virginia your first listen today. For your second listen today, check out Locked On Sports. From games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports. Go beyond the scoreboard, behind the scenes with local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports today available on this app YouTube, or wherever you find your podcast.